Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss 12 ways to increase students' participation. In everyday scenario, we cannot deny the fact that sometimes learners aren't giving their full attention during class discussions. And as a teacher, we all want to know how to motivate our learners to participate. Is that possible? Yes, it is. I, Teacher Jade, and together with Teacher Andrei, we will show you the 4 common reasons why students don't participate and the different techniques to solve these problems and spice up your daily lessons.
Reason number 1. The content is repetitive. Solution number 1. Assess their prior knowledge. This could be as simple as asking the students, what do you know about the topic, and writing their responses on the board. You could also try a pre-test or a graphic organizer. The goal is to find out what they already know and tailor your lesson around it. Solution number 2. Try skills grouping. Divide the class into groups based on what the skills they need to practice. Not forever, but for a class period or two, so they can focus on what they really need help with. Take time to move between the groups and help them review. We'll have more students engaged in the lesson and they'll get specific, focused practice time. Solution number 3. Let them teach each other. Especially good when reviewing before a test. Divide the class into groups and give them each group a topic. Set some guidelines and let them teach each other. Encourage them to do interesting activities. Write tests for each other, design review games, etc., and evaluate each group on the accuracy of their content, their creativity, their approach, and how well they work together as a team.
Reason number 2. The content is maybe too hard or difficult for them. What are the solutions for that? First, allow anonymous questions. Try to put out a question or comment box where your learners can submit their questions anytime. Give them an index card or a piece of paper and ask them to write something about the lesson, reading, or assignment that they did for that day. If they don't have any questions, instruct them to write their comments on that specific lesson that you've tackled. Collect that paper or index cards and use them to lead a class discussion. You will easily recognize what parts of the reading or lessons that your learners are confused at. With that technique, your learners won't feel embarrassed. Solution number 2. Allow them to work together. When learners bring in their homework or assignments, do a quick survey for completeness. Then put them in pairs or even in groups and let them review their assignments together. Encourage your learners to make changes if their partners or groupmates' answer is right. When they're finished, review as a class. Learners may be less embarrassed to share their group's answers than their own, and you may be able to complete the review more quickly. Solution number 3. Try a jigsaw approach. When you are introducing a new or difficult content, divide the class into groups and ask each group to master only one portion of it at a time. Ask them to do a reading on their topic to become the class experts on that specific subject. Then, split up the class into new groups that include one expert on each topic. Ask if these new groups to work together and write an essay or complete a worksheet that requires information about all the topics, learning from each other in the process for short.
Reason number 3. There's too much information to present in a too short a time. Solution number 1. Keep it bite-sized. If you have a lot of information to convey, rearrange your lesson plan so you never fail to lecture more than 10 to 15 minutes. Break up large concepts into smaller sections. Give a brief lecture, then do an activity to help sink it in. Repeat this process over several days. You'll increase participation and improve comprehension too. Solution 2. Keep them busy. Don't allow students to stare into space while you talk. Give them something to stay connected. Try to fill in the blank lecture notes. Delete keywords and phrases in your lecture notes to create a fill-in-the-blank worksheet. Then ask students to fill in the worksheet while you lecture. Solution 3. Look into the future. Before a lecture, give the students a prediction activity. For example, tell them you will be lecturing on Shakespeare and ask them to predict what you will say. Or give them a set of true or false statements and ask them to make their best guesses. When the lecture is over, have a class discussion and evaluate how accurate the students' predictions were.
Reason number 4. The lesson emphasizes the teacher and not the learners. What are the solutions? First, keep them busier than you are. Reimagine your classroom as a place where students are busier than you are. Keep the sit still and let me talk to you moments as brief as possible. Get those kids working. Give them worksheets, activities, discussions, and projects. Stay busy by moving student to student or group to group, correcting, evaluating, or just, providing your feedbacks to them. Solution number 2. Use groups. Heterogrouping, homogeneous grouping, tracking. Forget the buzzwords. Having student works in group is one of the best way to increase student participation. Don't keep them in the same group all the time. Mix it up based on their mastery levels or interests. Solution number 3. Give them a voice and a choice. Do students ever get a say in your classroom? Learners often tune out because they feel like their ideas don't matter. Show them that their opinions are valid and important. And for sure, they will pay better attention and speak up more in class. Just to remind all of you, there will always be some unreachable learners who won't respond, even if with these efforts and techniques. But if you give this a try, you may be pleasantly surprised at the previously unreachable students who just might join in the class discussions. Just try and use these different techniques that we've discussed.
Once again, thank you for listening in our discussion with my partner, Judar, and I am Andrei Maasin. Thank you and have a nice day.